Welcome to Blueprint Boost for Contractors, the podcast that's your go-to source for unlocking the secrets to successful marketing, gaining valuable insights, and growing your contracting business with less stress. Your host is David Brooks, and he's thrilled to be your guide on this journey. As a seasoned expert in the contracting industry, David understands the challenges you face. That's why each episode is crafted to provide you with actionable strategies and proven blueprints to boost your business to new heights.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast powered by Contractor Rhino. I'm your host, David Brooks, and we have a guest with us for this episode of the podcast. I'll allow him to introduce himself.
Thanks, David. Yeah, mine's Rob Bruce, and I'm co-founder of Contractor Foreman construction management software.
Great. Nice to have you, Rob. How's it going?
Going good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no
Great
problem. Can you give us a brief overview of Contractor Foreman and how it came to be?
Yeah, it's kind of a different story than most. I've got about 35 years experience in construction, done a little bit of everything, residential, commercial, got a lot of years in public works. And I've used so many softwares out there during that tenure, and I never met a construction management software I liked. I knew they were all too expensive. They were too hard to use. They were too hard to train on. People would spend upwards of $20,000-$30,000 to make software work, and then they'd abandon it in 6 months or a year. And all that money was wasted in back to either pen and paper or Word and Excel. So I knew that there was a better mousetrap, a better way to do it. And we developed Contractor Foreman to get rid of that expense, to get rid of that redundant data entry, the complexity of use. So we came to market in 2017.
Nice. So you saw that need and you're like, I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah, it was just time. It drove me crazy all those years. So.
Ooh. Now that you built the tool, what are some of the standout features of Contractor Foreman, and what sets it apart from other construction management tools?
I think the best way to describe that is many years ago, as I was using other softwares, like as mentioned, that were out there. I remember telling this one owner of a construction company, I said, we went out, we bought this software. It was kind of standard at the time. Spent probably $20,000-$30,000 on software training and implementation. And I said, now that you've done that, I used to be a construction manager, and you've turned me into this software. It's turned me into a kind of glorified data entry specialist. I couldn't go out and walk the jobs anymore. I couldn't negotiate with subs. And so what Contractor Foreman does is it gets rid of that redundant data entry. It gets rid of complexities and screens that are not consistent. Contractor Foreman is kind of the same all the way through, but all the screens are, so it's easier to learn. But once you type data in, say, in an estimate, you don't ever type that data again. It knows where to send that information and what to do with it and how to report on it. You're not constantly re-entering, reevaluating, changing data within the system. So it cuts usage down by at least even upwards of 60-70% from other softwares that are on the market today.
That's amazing. Cutting that usage down and being able to have that set itself apart in the market is definitely huge.
We get a lot of feedback on that. Get a lot of feedback from our users. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Now, with that feedback, could you share just some positive experiences that some of your customers have had?
Yeah, I guess I could start kind of on the dollar side. We had a company that was using Procore, and this is a pretty common story that we get. They were using Procore, and they were spending around $100,000 a year on Procore. And they came to Contractor Foreman. Well, Contractor Foreman works for residential, commercial, public works, all in how you set it up. But they went from spending that $100,000 a year down to spending $3,000 a year on Contractor Foreman. Another story with our time cards, the way they're so integrated. We had one company come back to us after being with us for 6 months and said that they'd already saved $60,000 on just labor alone by being able to quickly analyze where they were at labor wise. And labor is one of the biggest ones to eat you up on costs. I mean, it can get away from you so fast. You don't have time to fix it by the time you realize there's a problem. Contractor Foreman, you can check your labor against your labor budgets in seconds and just check 4 or 5 times a day if you need to, and you can identify those problems and save yourself that big headache and cost down the road. No more surprises.
Wow, that's amazing. Being able to have that cost savings inside of the business and being able to make that switch is definitely huge. Was definitely huge and wins for your customers. Bravo for bravo for that.
We had one company that had 540 employees,
Mhm.
has 540 employees, and now they can report on all 540 employees in seconds instead of weeks. File time cards, assemble, compare against budgets, etc. So they can just click on a job, click on a button, and there's your budget versus actual labor report in real time. So
Wow, that's
things
amazing.
like well, those are the problems we set out to solve.
Mhm. It's all about solving problems, coming up with the right solutions.
Yep,
Mhm.
usable, workable solution.
Yes,
Anybody
usable,
can take on.
workable,
Yeah,
and easy to navigate solutions.
we get Contractor Foreman is going to work. I mean, I've talked about larger companies, but Contractor Foreman works just fine for that smaller, even 2-3 person construction company. It's just all on how you set it up.
Mhm.
Very easy to do, and we walk you all through that. But uh, you're just going to use the modules that you want and need to use. And that's down to the individual user as well.
That's excellent. Now with the software, does it integrate with any other tools or softwares that contractors might already be using?
Yeah, we're very big on integrating with other softwares. Currently, I believe we integrate with 15 others, and we're constantly adding more. So, probably in the next 2 to 3 months, we'll be up to about 20 other softwares that we integrate with. So, it's everything from QuickBooks to Company Cam to Stripe to Angie Leads for residential people. So it's a wide variety of other softwares and systems that we integrate with. We even integrate with, if somebody's familiar with it, with Zapier. So they could tie Contractor Foreman to a lot of other softwares, even if we don't have the integration uh, implementing with Zapier. So it's very important. There's no such thing as the magic silver bullet. So you're always using other softwares outside of Contractor Foreman. And we make it very easy to connect.
That's great. Having the integrations and having those options available is definitely intuitive and we'll be able to just really streamline things when using the software and then being able to have those integrations work and for everything to be able to come together.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All about it's all about cohesiveness and using one system instead of 10.
Yes, I'm a firm believer in that. It's definitely a firm believer in that. Now,
Yep.
now question, another question that I thought about, like, what kind of training or support do you offer to new users that sign up for the program platform?
We offer a lot of support and training to our users. We understand that this is second nature to us. We've been doing this a long time, but to a contractor, again, of any size or type, this is not a small undertaking, and it needs to be taken pretty serious. So what we do, one of the things, we may get more into the detail on this, but when you sign up for Contractor Foreman, you're given a free 30-day trial. And so you pay nothing. We give you the full software, the full service of everything we have. You are a customer without ever paying a dime. And during that 30 days, we give you that one-on-one live training. We give you access to all of our support, all of the live chat. Even if an update comes out in that 30 days, you're going to get that. You can get that update. And so that allows you to kind of ease yourself into the system without a huge commitment on your part, because we understand. I've been there, I've done that, I've implemented many of these systems, and I wish I had that free 30 days to really truly analyze the software. Even after you become a full-on customer, we've got live chat built into the system. Every single module in Contractor Foreman has a built-in training video. So you're not going back to a help menu trying to find some keyword for something. How did Contractor Foreman word that or something? You just click on a video icon and a short, brief video pops up, walks you right through how to use that line. We got group trainings that happen every day of the week. We've got an onboarding implementation team to hold your hand and walk you through and even do the implementation for you. So way more help than pretty much any other system on the market today.
That's great that you have all those avenues available with the training and help for new users. Because that's a thing that's the key to success is, is the opportunity there for me to be able to jump on the training, have these videos, have support, be able to be available to be able to walk me through those things. I think a lot of people get discouraged when they sign up for a platform and then its support isn't around, or I haven't heard anything back and I don't know how to do this and no one never is around. So being able to have that is just definitely being able to provide world-class customer service.
And in construction, this is very true that the real users are the people out in the field. And so we make all that accessible to the people out in the field. And yet they're the ones that are generally not so much up on technology. If they wanted to be in technology, they would have went into IT, but they're working out in the field. They're craftsmen. And so giving them access to all that help them adopt the system a lot faster, a lot easier. And that's where you get the really good data when you start communicating well with the field.
Yeah, I believe being able to have the data available to users, being able to just make it adaptable and accessible
Right.
is is so important. And then also in line with that, everything can constantly be improved upon, or it could be like a next iteration or a new feature. How does your team handle the feedback and requests from users to continue to improve the platform?
Yeah. The topic I could talk on for a long time. I'll try and keep it brief. We love hearing from our customers because they're the real users of Contractor Foreman. They're out there in the office in the field using it every single day. We can't think of everything, and so we've actually got built into the system. It's a little light bulb icon, and let's say you're in change orders and you're writing up a change order. And you go, "Geez, I wish you could do that." You could just click on the light bulb icon. It pops up a suggestion. Not a black hole like any other software that have that, but so you fill out your suggestion. That goes into a database that all other users can see it. So they can vote on it, they can comment on it, will comment on it. And then if it looks like it's going to benefit a lot of people and it's a logical, good suggestion, we'll go ahead and implement that into one of our updates. And we generally turn out updates about every month and a half, maybe 2 months. So Contractor Foreman every month and a half to 2 months is getting not just better and more tools, but it's getting easier to use because the suggestions can be, hey, why don't you just do this and you're saving 3 clicks? Well, we can save you guys 3 clicks, we're going to do that. That's a bane of our existence. Click, click, type. So, yeah, we're very big on user feedback, and we truly appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great. Having that user feedback and from the people that are using it constantly in their day to day, and being able to get that feedback from them, it's really good. I think more platforms need to be able to adopt that of collecting that kind of feedback to make it better. To be able to ask, what features do you think that we should add, or what things can we tweak? And I think that's the important part. I see way too many people, well, what should we add, or what should we bring? And it's like the users would know best. Collect that data from them.
I always felt it was almost an ego thing
Mhm.
where people running the software were like, no, we know better. We have
Yeah.
all the answers. We're going to deliver you the solution we want to deliver. No,
Yeah.
we're going to deliver the solution that you, the user, wants and needs. I mean, we can't think of everything. Yeah.
Mhm. No, that's so true. You can't think of everything.
Oh, not even a try.
Mhm.
Pardon.
Mhm. So, what current trends are you seeing in the construction industry? And in line with that, how is Contractor Foreman adapting to these changes?
I think a couple of topics I could go on there, but I'd have to say the biggest one is as more and more people get into contracting, uh, it's all equal in the field anymore. It used to be you could teach your crew a certain technique, or you could buy a certain tool, say, to give you an edge to frame that wall a little bit faster, pour the concrete a little faster, whatever it may be. That's all equal now. It's really you can't make money by doing it faster or better necessarily than another company. So where you got to gain your competitive edge is in the back office. You have to have better data than your competition. You've got to get that data faster than your competition and adjust. Just as an example with Contractor Foreman, as you're putting your bids together, it's and the job is running, it's constantly comparing cost, of course, against your budgets, et cetera, job cost codes and material, labor, equipment, subcontract cost, et cetera. But the way it compiles that data and stores it, next time you're doing a bid, you can now go back to that historical data and find out where did we make money, where did we not make money, and make those accurate adjustments on your next bid or estimate. So if you can put together that kind of an advantage, that's where you're gonna get ahead. Other interesting ones, almost outside the scope of what we're talking about here, but it does tie to Contractor Foreman, I think, quite a bit. We're seeing more and more companies switching from residential to commercial. Some of that money's drying up with the high interest rates. There's been a little bit of a downturn in that residential market. People aren't going to go out and take out a 9-10% loan to do a remodel. We were running on old money.
Mhm.
And so with Contractor Foreman, said earlier, it doesn't matter what kind of contractor you are. It's going to work for you. So if you're residential and you start picking up commercial jobs to fill in some blanks, all the tools are already there. It might be the extent of clicking a button to turn on a certain module that you didn't need in residential. Just that easy to switch over to a commercial or even public works job.
No, that's great. I think that's, the key of having that flexibility between residential and commercial and how the landscape is shifting and changing. So being able to have the platform to be able to kind of work both ways and for, different type of business sizes, I think that's great.
Yeah, and the way Contractor Foreman is built is kind of have a saying, once you learn 2 or 3 screens in Contractor Foreman, you've learned them all because every screen looks and acts and operates the exact same way as the previous screen. So that not only cuts down on that training and implementation time, but if you were to pick up that commercial job and turn on a couple of modules that you needed for that, all those screens are going to look and act the same. So you're not relearning a whole new piece of software, not having to go through major retraining because we're now picking up commercial work. You're just going to do the same thing you did the day before.
Mhm. No, that's excellent. Now, in our wrap up, what advice would you or tips would you give for the audience looking to improve their processes, looking for a software to implement inside of their business?
Um, I think one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give is take the time beforehand and sit down and literally write, like, whether it's into paper or Microsoft Word, but write out your processes. companies rarely take the time to slow down and go, wow, what is all of our steps? From the time, whether you want to call it a lead or a prospective job comes in to the time you actually estimate it, what are all those steps? And then if it becomes a job, if you're awarded the job, what are the steps next? Okay, we've been awarded this job. Who does what? And when do we do it? And take that time, that it's going to be a worthwhile investment, and to go through that, and then use that guide to look for software. Contractor Foreman, sure, I'm going to say it's great, but there's no such thing as a perfect software. So I'm going to urge you to go out and look at numerous pieces of software, but make them stick to that guide and show you exactly how it's going to work for you. Don't let them lead the demo, the meeting, the demo. Email them that guide and say, walk me through this process in your software, show me how it's going to work. And that's going to be the biggest tip to not only help you get that right software, but it's a great time to just take a look at your current processes and where can we improve. Because you've all sat down at the table and thought this through, and you're going to get rid of certain steps. You're going to make steps more efficient, your different processes. So it's probably a good practice for any construction company to do probably at least once a year, whether you're looking for software or not. Constantly review how efficient you're actually being.
I think that's great advice. Doing that review, assessing the landscape, and seeing what's going to work inside of your business. And like you said, it's no perfect software, but what comes close enough to being able to be the software that's right for us.
And construction moves so fast. You're always so busy that you don't always really take time to look at, like I said, those problems. And it's easy to implement something real quick and then forget that you did it, but you really didn't need to do that anymore because that was just for a few certain jobs. Because you're spending a lot of time and labor and resources on unnecessary steps, or steps that can be greatly streamlined. And look for a software company that knows construction, that can talk your talk, and kind of translate from what you're looking for into what their offerings are.
Great, wise words, Rob.
Thanks.
Can you tell the users, or not the users, but more or less the audience that's listening, where they can contact you at?
Yeah, it's contractorforeman.com. It's real easy. You can book a demo from that site. You could even sign up for the 30-day trial from that site. Takes about 2 minutes to do that, but we've got a great website that's just packed full of information to help you learn more. And so, our phone numbers are up there. So if you need us for anything at all, just give us a call. But contractorforeman.com, we'll get you there.
All right, excellent. Well, we appreciate having you, Rob. We'll have to have you back on for another episode.
Yep. Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks, David.
No problem. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Please tune into the next episode. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Blueprint Boost for Contractors. We hope you found today's insights and strategies valuable for your contracting business. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and please leave us a review. Your feedback helps us bring content that truly matters.